She could turn a man to stone with a single glance. But the woman behind that curse was never the monster of this story. She was its final victim. This is the true myth of Perseus and Medusa. It began with a king who feared his own grandson. King Acrisius of Argos was told by an oracle that his daughter's son would one day kill him. So he locked his daughter, Danae, in a bronze chamber, sealed from every man alive. But not from a god. Zeus came to her as a shower of gold, and from that union, Perseus was born. When Acrisius discovered the child, he didn't dare kill his own blood. The gods punished kinslayers without mercy. Instead, he sealed mother and son inside a wooden chest and cast them into the sea, leaving their fate to the waves. For days they drifted, until the chest washed ashore on the island of Seriphos, where a fisherman named Dictys pulled them from the water and gave them shelter. Years passed. Perseus grew into a young man on Seriphos, and his mother caught the eye of the island's king, Polydectes. But Danae refused him, and Perseus stood in the way of what the king wanted. So Polydectes set a trap. He announced a wedding feast and demanded gifts from every guest. Knowing Perseus had nothing to give, the king baited him into boasting he could bring back anything. Even the head of Medusa. It was a death sentence disguised as an honor. Medusa was one of the 3 Gorgons, monstrous sisters with serpents for hair, whose gaze turned any living thing to stone. Unlike her 2 immortal sisters, Medusa alone could die. But no mortal had ever found her lair and lived to tell of it. Perseus had no idea where to even begin, until the gods intervened. Athena, goddess of wisdom, and Hermes, messenger of the gods, appeared before him. They sent him first to the Gray, 3 ancient sisters who shared a single eye and a single tooth between them, passing it hand to hand. Perseus waited, and the moment they passed the eye between them, he snatched it from the air, leaving all 3 sisters blind at once, until they told him what he needed to know: the location of the nymphs who guarded the tools to kill a Gorgon. From the nymphs, Perseus received 3 treasures: a pair of winged sandals to fly, a magic pouch called the kibisis to safely carry Medusa's severed head, and the cap of Hades, which made its wearer completely invisible. Hermes gave him an unbreakable sickle sword, sharp enough to cut through scales, and Athena gave him her own bronze shield, polished to a perfect mirror. Perseus flew to the edge of the known world, where the Gorgons slept among statues of the men who had come before him. He knew the rule that had killed every hunter before: look directly at Medusa, and you turn to stone in an instant. So Perseus never looked at her at all. He watched her only through the reflection in Athena's mirrored shield, walking backward, guided by a reflection instead of his own eyes. Using the reflection to aim, Perseus struck once and severed Medusa's head in a single blow. In that same instant, from her dying body sprang 2 children fathered by Poseidon long before: Pegasus, the winged horse, and Chrysaor, a warrior wielding a golden sword. Perseus sealed the head inside the kibisis without ever looking at it directly, and flew away before Medusa's immortal sisters could wake and hunt him down. On his flight home, legend says Perseus passed the Titan Atlas, condemned to hold up the sky. When Atlas refused him shelter for the night, Perseus showed him Medusa's severed head, and Atlas turned to stone on the spot, his body becoming the mountain range that still bears his name today. Flying over the coast of Ethiopia, Perseus saw a girl chained to a sea cliff, offered as a sacrifice to a monster called Cetus, sent by Poseidon to punish her mother's pride. Her name was Andromeda. Perseus didn't hesitate. He dove from the sky and killed the sea monster, freeing her, and asked her father, the king, for her hand in marriage as his reward. It was granted. For the first time since his journey began, Perseus had won something instead of merely surviving it. Perseus returned to Seriphos to find his mother hiding from Polydectes, who had never expected the boy to survive, let alone return. Perseus walked straight into the king's court and asked if he still wanted his gift. When Polydectes mocked him in front of the whole room, Perseus opened the cabesus and turned away. And the king, along with everyone who had once laughed at him, turned to stone where they stood. Perseus gave Medusa's head to Athena, who mounted it on her shield forever, a symbol so feared that even the gods used it as a weapon. And the old prophecy that started it all still found its way to Acrisius. Years later, at a royal competition, Perseus threw a discus that veered off course into the crowd and struck the grandfather who had once cast him into the sea, killing him instantly by accident. What Acrisius spent a lifetime trying to escape, he had simply postponed. Perseus went on to found the city of Mycenae, one of the great centers of the ancient Greek world. So tell me, if you'd been handed Medusa's head, would you have used it as a weapon, like Perseus did? Or destroyed it forever? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for the next myth from Echoes of History.